afternoon and welcome to Business Incorporated. I'm Chimeze Obi-Wagu. Coming up, Chinese exports defies expectations in December to rise 2.3% from a year ago in yuan-denominated terms. South Africa's rand climbed as much as 1.5% against the dollar after better-than-expected Chinese trade data. And economists at the London-based Exotics Partners ask Nigerian authorities to provide more clarity on its official economic plans and in particular its foreign exchange policy. We'll begin in Asia, where Chinese exports defied expectations in December to rise 2.3% from a year ago in yuan-denominated terms. Forecasts were predicting a 4.1% fall in exports, but a weakening currency may have boosted the lagging sector. Imports also beat expectations in yuan-denominated terms to only fall 4% compared to forecasts of a 7.9% slump. The jump in exports was the first rise since June last year, as the sector has seen battered by slowing demand and slumping commodity prices. For the year, exports fell 1.8%, while imports tumbled 13.2% from 2014. China's customs spokesman said at a news conference in Beijing that the country's exports fell last year owing to weak external demand. Well, some bits and pieces of economic news out of Europe today. Let's bring in DWTV Channels TV correspondent Ulrich Bartz to put us through to all of this. Thank you for joining us, Ulrich.
Thank you. So good to be with you.
Right. We'll see France's current account widen while latest data shows Eurozone factory output falls last November. But the ECB is sticking its inflation target of 2% and asset purchasing program. Put all these together for us.
Well, the ECB, with its 2% inflation target, seems to be doing the right thing. When you listen to its ECB chief economist, Pt.1, he said today in an interview with a German newspaper that giving up this inflationary goal would risk the credibility of the European Central Bank. Now, lots of people are saying 2%, it's so unrealistic with inflation being where it is and with interest rates near zero in the Eurozone and near zero in other places around the world as well. But Pt.1 says don't underestimate the deflationary dangers with all the dangers of a spiral going downwards and growth being affected. So that's the stance of the European Central Bank. It's holding on to that. And really, politically, it has to hold on to that, whatever the economic side of it, because that justifies it pumping as much money as it's pumping into the Eurozone economy. Now, a lot of critics say 2%, that's so far off. Give it up, put yourself a more realistic goal, and stop pumping that amount of money. It's not doing that much good anyways, except for here at the equity market, where it's contributing to inflationary prices. So the debate is still quite controversial, and the effects of the ECB policy are, a lot of people say, mainly here in the markets. Because of the ECB, bad news like that from industrial production in November, which went down, as you mentioned, is readily digestible for the moment.
Now, Ulrich, China is avoiding the cliffhanger as latest factory orders show. Now, the news is rallying markets across the oceans. But how soft or solid is this latest market comeback?
I think the market comeback here is a soft one. It's being propped up by ECB money, but surely the trend is a fragile one. One has seen this with a great deal of volatility, the ups and downs in the market. And as soon as maybe the next negative piece of news comes from China, the sense of stability that we see in the equities markets, not just in Germany, but in Europe this week, could again be history. A lot depends on what news comes from China, and if perhaps the earnings season in the United States, which has just begun this week, perhaps gives us some corporate news, some fundamentals that seem to say to investors, don't just look at China, look at good corporate fundamentals as well, which can also justify these equity levels. But of course, one has to wait and see whether such results do indeed come.
All right, Ulrich, let's wrap up this conversation. Talk us through today's trading day with reference to corporate news expectations.
I think here in Europe, all eyes are on Volkswagen, possibly in the United States as well. Today there's going to be a meeting between the CEO of Volkswagen, Matthias Müller, and the EPA chief, Ms. McCarthy, in the United States. And so far, the statesmen from these two parties couldn't have been further apart. The EPA and the California environmental people decrying Volkswagen, openly frustrated and with harsh criticism on the way Volkswagen has acted so far, and California rejecting a recent proposal on how to revamp U.S. cars, and Volkswagen just talking of constructive cooperation, the thing being financially and technically manageable. So people here in the market are waiting very eagerly for the outcome of this meeting, and people, of course, hoping that there will be a publicly announced outcome of this meeting when it takes place.
Well, I guess Volkswagen is yet to get out of this emission scandal. Well, thank you for your time, Ulrich. That was Ulrich Butts, DWTV Channels TV correspondent, reporting from Frankfurt Stock Exchange. Let's take a quick break. When we return, South Africa's rand climbs after better than expected Chinese trade data. Do stay with us.